Now, having finished simple past tense and simple present tense, now we will move ahead with simple future tense. Simple future tense or future tense is used for actions which has not yet taken place till now but will take place sometime in future time. Examples: I will see you tomorrow. Now in this example you see that the person here speaks of meeting or seeing the other person the next day. That means the action has not yet happened. It is going to happen the next day. Hence, this first example is an example of simple future tense. The second example, the train will arrive at 5:15 p.m. Again, we see in this example, the train has not yet arrived. It will arrive later at 5:15 p.m. So the action has not yet taken place. This action, that is arrival of train, the arrival of the train will take place at 5:15 p.m. Hence, the second example also is related to simple future tense. The third example, the principal will welcome the chief guest. Here also you find that the principal has not yet welcomed the chief guest. When the chief guest will arrive, then the principal is going to welcome the chief guest. Or might be the question was, who will welcome the chief guest? So the answer was, the principal will welcome the chief guest. So here the action that is spoken of is welcoming the chief guest, which has not yet taken place. It will take place a little later, sometime in the future time. Hence, the third example also is an example of simple future tense. Hence, we find here that all the verbs in these three sentences are in simple future tense. Now, let's see how to form simple future tense. In positive statements, we use will or shall with the first or root form of the verb as follows. Let's see the examples. I will see you tomorrow. So will has been used with the root form of the verb see plus the rest of the sentence. So I will see you tomorrow. The action has not yet taken place. The action of seeing the other person will take place the next day. In the second example, the principal will welcome the chief guest. Again, we have the subject here, after which we have added will with the first or root form of the verb welcome plus the rest of the sentence. That is, the principal will welcome the chief guest. The action has not yet taken place as of now. It's going to take place in the near future, in future time. In negative sentences, the pattern is as follows. Let's have a look at the examples. Rohan will not come to school tomorrow. As already said, that words like not, never, does not, do not make a sentence negative. Hence here we come across the word not. So here we know that this sentence is negative. But how is it that it's whether we decide whether it's future tense or present tense or past tense? Rohan will not come. Will again is a word that tells you about future tense. It speaks of future. So the presence of will tells you that it's future tense, and the presence of not tells you that it is in a negative form. So Rohan will not come to school tomorrow. First thing what we know is that with the presence of the word will, we come to know it's future tense, and with the presence of the word not, we come to know that it's a negative sentence. Now in the next example, the principal will not address the students. The principal will not address the students. That means the principal will not give a speech to the students. Again, will here, the presence of will shows that this is related to future tense, and the presence of not shows that it is a negative sentence. The presence of words like not, never, does not, do not make a sentence negative. Hence, we come to know that the principal will not address the students is both simple future tense and it is a negative sentence. Students, please note that in negative sentences, we use not after will. See, in both the negative sentences, we have used not after will. The short form of shall not is shan't, and the short form of will not is won't. Now let's have a look at the formation of interrogative sentences with respect to simple future tense. In interrogative sentences, the pattern is as follows. So, if you want to form interrogative sentences with respect to simple future tense, you need to follow two patterns. The first one, wherein will or shall plus the subject plus the first or root form of the verb plus the rest of the sentence plus the interrogation mark or the mark of interrogation, that is a question mark. Now this is the first pattern. Now to put it in the right order, we have first written will plus the subject, that is Rohan, plus the first or root form of the verb, that is come, plus the rest of the sentence followed with the mark of interrogation, that is a question mark. So, hence, the interrogative sentence formed is, will Rohan come to school tomorrow? Now let's see the second pattern to form an interrogative sentence. The pattern is question word plus will or shall plus the subject plus the first or root form of the verb plus the rest of the sentence followed by mark of interrogation. So put it in the right order. The question word when is set at right at the beginning. When plus will plus the subject is the principal plus the first or root form of the verb, that is address, plus the rest of the sentence, that is the students, followed by mark of interrogation. Hence the sentence is in an interrogative form. When will the principal address the students? Now let's have a look where to use simple future tense. We use will when we decide to do something at the time of speaking, and the presence of will tell you that a particular sentence is in future tense. Example, have you locked the door? I'm sorry, I'll go and lock it now. So again you see here the presence of will tells you that this person is saying that he or she will go and lock it now. He hasn't gone, he or she will go and lock the door now. I am is shortened as I'm, and I will is shortened as I'll. Again in the second example, why are you so glum? I have a slight headache. I think I'll consult a doctor. Again we see that I will. The presence of will always talks about future events. So here I will has been used, and hence we know that the sentence is in future tense. Again we also know that I will has been shortened as I'll. Now, we use will to talk about future events in which our own wish do not matter. For example, the traffic will be very heavy in the evening. So here you see in this sentence, again the presence of will determines and confirms the fact that it speaks of future event. That means that the sentence is in future tense. Again, the next example, next year you will see a beautiful building at this site. Now you see there is no personal touch here. Here our own wish does not matter at all. Even a second example, the presence of will determines the fact and confirms that this particular sentence is in future tense. Students, we all know that shall is used mostly in question forms and with I and we. So shall always most of the time goes with I and we. But you should also know that when we use shall I or shall we are not asking a question, rather we are making a suggestion or an offer. Let's understand this in detail with the help of the next examples. Example A. Shall I get you a cup of tea? Now you see, we have used shall right at the beginning. So here, this is not a question. In fact, it's an offer because here I am asking someone if I could get him or her a cup of tea. If I can bring a cup of tea for that person. So I am offering something. I am offering a help. So here, this use of shall in the first sentence is not a question, rather it's an offer. In the second example, we are getting late. Shall we take a taxi? Again, the presence of shall here and the position of shall here changes the nature of the sentence. And now, here in the second example, this particular meaning of the sentence changes and now it forms a suggestion. Please note that the going to form also expresses actions in future. So when we are discussing the simple future tense, we have to keep this going to form into consideration and know that the going to form expresses actions in future. Examples, we are going to shift to a new house. So here, what is the intention? What is the action here? The intended action is that the family or the concerned people are going to shift to a new house. They have not yet shifted. They are going to shift to a new house in the recent future. In the second example, she has left everyone behind. She is going to win the race. In this example also, we find that going to, this particular form of going to indicates that she is going to win the race. She has not yet won the race, but very soon in the near future, she is going to win the race. The going to form is used to show intention as well as indication. And how does the going to form show the intention and indication? We will see in the next example. In some sentences, the going to form shows intention, whereas in the other sentences, the going to form shows indication. For example, we are going to play a friendly hockey match. We are going to play a friendly hockey match. So here the intention is being expressed by the going to form. And what is the intention? The intention is to play a friendly hockey match, not yet being played, but in the near future we are going to play. So the intention is clearly expressed here by the going to form. In the next example, again, we will see that the going to form changes and it's no more an intention that is expressed here. Rather, the going to form here shows an indication. The sky is overcast. It is going to rain. So what is being expressed here? The indication is that the weather is changing and very soon it's going to rain. So here we have seen how the going to form changes its nature. Somewhere in some examples, the going to form shows intention, and in other examples, the same going to form shows indication. So students, with this we come to the conclusion of this chapter, Tenses. If you have any doubts or queries related to this chapter, please come up in the group in between 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and again in the evening from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Thank you.